So number 9, we have this equation with x squared and x and y, but it is not in standard form for an ellipse. Okay, so first things first, I'm going to get my x's together and my y's together. And then an ellipse equation always equals 1. So I'm going to add this 3176 to the other side, just so we only have x and y on the left. Okay, so let me make this smaller. So I have 100x squared plus 200x plus 36y squared plus 216y equals 3176. Alright, so next thing is we want to take out the number next to the squareds, because we're going to complete the square. This is actually a step of completing the square. We just haven't actually had to do it yet. So you always take out the number next to the x squared. So it's the distributive property backwards. So I'm left with x squared, and then here I'm left with 2x. Right? If I were to distribute that 100, we'd be back up here. And then we're going to do the same thing with what's next to y squared. So I'm left with y squared, and here, I don't know, 216 divided by 36 is 6. So this would be y squared plus 6y equals 3176. Alright, so the next thing we're going to do is complete the square, which is what we have done before when we did circles. So I'm going to rewrite it down here while I have a little more room. So we solve the 100, and then we have x squared plus 2x, and then we're going to complete the square, so we have to add something out here. Plus 36, and then we're going to complete the square with the y's. So we're going to have to add something out here. And then remember, when we add on one side, we have to add on the other. And those are a little bit bigger. I'll show you why. Okay. So when we complete the square, you take b and divide it by 2. So this becomes x plus 1 squared. That number goes here. But we have to take that number 1 and square it, and that's what goes here. So the 100's still there. Notice how I'm timesing this whole thing by 100. If I were to multiply this whole thing out, I would be doing this. So when I add over here, I have to add 100 times 1. Makes sense? So here, now let's do y's. I still have the 36, and then I'm going to have y plus 3 squared divided by 2. But then 3 squared goes here, and it's the same concept. I would be timesing that 36 and 9 on the left and on the right, if I were to multiply it out, which we're not going to. Okay, so now I have 100 x plus 1 squared plus 36 y plus 3 squared equals, now I have to put all this in the calculator. So I have 3176 plus 100 times 1. Yes, I know that's 100. But we're going to type it out just like I wrote it. And then 36 times 9, which is 3600. Oops. So it's really close. It's almost in that form, but not quite. I'm just going to rewrite it up here. I don't have as much room when I'm writing these. So I have 100 x plus 1 squared plus 36 y plus 3 squared equals 3600. Okay. So remember, on our standard form, we have x squared over something plus y squared over something. A and b switch sometimes, but it always equals 1. So now's our chance to make it equal 1. So we're going to divide that by 3600. and that is 1, right? But what you do to one thing, you have to do to everything. So we're going to divide this by 3600 and this by 3600, and now we have some fractions that we can reduce. So 100 over 3600 is 36. So x plus 1 squared over 36, and then plus y plus 3 squared over 36 over 3600 is 100. And you can use a calculator if you need to on those. So this is our standard form. X plus 1 squared over 36 plus y plus 3 squared over 100 equals 1. You're going to have to type that in. The next part is graphing. Okay, so we have our bigger number, a squared, b squared, and it's been shifted, our graph. We have a different center. So remember, the center is at h, okay, and it's opposite. So our center will be at -1, -3, because those are positives in the parentheses. So what that means is if we start at 0, 0, we're going back 1, down 3. So I'm going to find just like we did on number 8, I'm going to pretend that we're at 0, 0 for the center, and then I'm going to shift. So if we're at 0, 0, our A values for our vertices would be 10. And because they're under Y, that means that we would be on the Y axis. And then our co-vertices would be our B values. And those would be on the X axis. And then we will shift. Okay, so let's go look at a graph and graph this. Oops, sorry. Okay, so I'm going to open number 9. It's a different question, but our vertices are at 10, 10. Our co-vertices are at 6, -6, and we're shifting back 1, down 3. So that would be our graph.